Hi guys, Twitch here from Creep Designs. I've noticed a lot of people having trouble with mirror images in their finished photos and not knowing how to change the image so it's not them or a whole bunch of mess in the background. So since I googled it and found out how easy it was to do, my photos where I've got mirrors in them look 10 times better and more professional. So I decided to do a screen recording on my phone whilst I do it so that I can demonstrate to everyone else just how easy it is. And it's done using an app called Snapseed, which I use to do all of my photo editing. And Snapseed is free. And it's really easy to do. I'm looking at the wrong part of my phone. And yeah, if I don't explain anything well enough and if you still have trouble with it, just hit me up and I'll see if I can help. Thanks guys. So with this I'm using Snapseed. I think a lot of people use it, they just don't know how to do this part of it. So this is where you want to open your main image, so the image that you're wanting to edit. Go into Tools, open Double Exposure. Then you want to add, so you're adding the next image to it, the one that you want to put into the mirror. I do this by find something by just going to Google and downloading something I like. I usually stick with light stuff, like the two that you can see there. I increased the opacity here because I was having a mental fart for starters, but it does make it easier to see when you're adjusting it and then zooming it in like you are here. And reduce the opacity again so that you can see the mirror in the background of it, so that you can see where to line up the edges. Keep in mind positioning and distance from the mirror. You don't want the bed, in this case, too close to the mirror. And make sure that you're watching your edges. Then increase the opacity all the way back up and OK that. View edits. Go into the double exposure tab. I'm going to call that the edit button. So this one reduces the exposure altogether, so all you can see is red like in the picture. I very quickly showed you there that how it works, but I deleted part of it. I turn the red back off, zoom in. The more you zoom in, the smaller the cursor gets. So when you want to do finer detailed sections like around these flowers, zoom all the way in. Click the I button and it'll remove the red and you can just see the image in the background. Or the new image, I should say, the one that you're replacing it with. You can do it with the red on if you want. I find it easier to do these parts without the red. Use 2 fingers to keep moving the screen around. If you only use 1 finger, it will obviously remove the exposure. And here, like in this corner, it's a small tight corner, so we zoom back in again to make the cursor smaller to get in there as much as possible. Be mindful of the reflections that are in your images. So you see how this raised part of the table is reflected in the mirror. Be careful not to erase things like that because it will distort the image and it won't look right. So when I'm following the line of the mirror, you can see that it's got a white line around the edge. That's where the bevel is. So I try not to go past that because it's natural for it to have that white line around it where the bevel sits. Which is also why I go with lighter or white images to replace in the mirror. It just makes it easier. As it's getting up to this lighter part here, you'll see in a second, it gets harder to see where you're going with the cursor. So I switch the I button back on so that it brings it up as red, and then you can see where you're working better. Again, you could just leave it on the whole time if you want, but like I said, I find it easier to work with the image itself. Probably could have zoomed past this. So I'm about to show you how to fix it if you make a mistake. Oh, yep, there we go. Whoops. So go down to the eye, down the bottom. So you want to drop that down to 0 exposure. Go back up to your whoopsie. Erase it back to that mirror line. Then go back down to the exposure and bring it back up to 100. And then keep going. With the edges like this, I find this side harder to do because my finger is in the way. So as you'll see in a second, what I tend to do on this side of the mirror is I go over the mirror's edge and then I go back down to the exposure, drop it down to 0. You'll see in a second that I do this. So I've dropped it back down to 0 and then I'm coming back in and erasing it off the mirror's edge. And then I keep going. I'm getting eaten by mozzies. So now I've got the edges done. I'm zooming out and filling in the rest of it. I wonder if you can hear the bats. it's night time and I've come outside to do the voiceover so that I don't have kids and other people, husband and mother, interrupting me while I record. Hi, Mum. And there I got a bit tap happy and made a boo-boo. So again, I drop it back down to 0. I erase my mistake. Oh, I can see some more that I've missed there. I think it was like midnight when I did this. So I'm zooming it back out. You'll probably have to zoom in and out a few times. I've okayed this and gone out of it, having a look at it at this point, and I've seen, pretty sure I've noticed here that I need to go back in. So you can go back in and edit it again if you miss spots or if you stuff up. So I'm dropping the exposure again, going back in. Oh, there we go, I fixed it up. Going back out, and then I've spotted that the flowers aren't done right. There's kind of a bit of back and forth with this. It gets easier the more you do it, the faster you get. It seems convoluted, but it's really not. And just so we're clear, whilst doing this, the starting image had already had an edited mirror, but I couldn't find the original, so I just used that and changed it to another new one just for the video. So that's done. What did you think of that? Pretty cool. If you like my video, please like and subscribe and share and follow me on Facebook, Instagram. Don't follow me home. Thanks, guys.